Okay, before I get too distracted and go off in other directions, I want to make some more of these videos on the abo techniques. There's quite a bit of material to cover, and there's going to be like at least 20 videos on these abo subjects, so I'm going to try to do one today. In this particular video, I want to go over something that I call hybrid techniques. And I want to start off by showing you a pretty basic technique. This is a block of wood here, and this is a core. Now this is shaped like a conical core, but it's actually a nodule that doesn't have any blades removed from the sides. This is just for demonstration, but it looks pretty good. It looks like a core that has or what they call a conical core that has a flat face, and the flakes are removed from the sides. Okay, and they're usually removed with a supported vertical punch like this, and then the blade is removed. You strike downward on the punch and the blade is removed from the side. Now if you watch the Europeans or their videos on YouTube, they are masters at this. Okay, there are some US knappers that have videos on this also, and I'm going to try to make some myself. I'm just not that good or that practiced at doing this, but I do want to use it as a demonstration for a punch technique. Okay, so typically either the core is supported on a block of wood like this with a hole in it, or supported between the legs like this, and then struck, sometimes with or without also the wooden block support. Okay, usually I see the wooden block support. That's pretty common with all these videos that I see out of Europe. Okay, anyway, now this can also be done with indirect percussion, horizontal, with a horizontal punch. Okay, you can strike, let's see, you can strike the core like this with a horizontal punch. Okay, but the purpose of this video is to show you a technique. I try to make a distinction here, or show you a hybrid technique, I should say. Now this is typically what I use for a billet, because it's nice and long here, and I can develop some leveraged strikes where I use a velocity to strike. But it can also be used as a horizontal punch. Okay, but if it's used on a core similar to this to remove blades, you can get into a position where your technique is almost exactly the same as using a vertical punch, a supported vertical punch. And what I mean by that is, if you are, let's say you rest the end of this punch on the block and then hit it here, okay, physically that's almost exactly the same as hitting this. Okay, with the forces acting in line between the mallet and the tip of the flaker, very similar. This can produce a very similar result. Okay, because the force is in line here, straight down in. So typically this would be a horizontal punch, but as the mallet approaches closer and closer to the end of the punch, it ceases to become a horizontal punch and acts like a vertical punch, if that makes any sense. Okay, now back here there's no disputing that that is a horizontal punch, but as you approach closer to the tip, it acts a lot like a vertical punch and produces very, very similar results. Okay, and you can strike the end of this with a stone or a piece of antler or anything else. Okay, it actually, if you're using it like a vertical punch, it's very easy to use a stone to strike. It's hard to get enough leverage by striking the stone back here, but if you strike closer to the end, you can achieve some very powerful punch strikes. Okay, but it's almost the same as using a supported punch like this. Okay, so this is what I call a hybrid technique. If you've got something that looks like a horizontal punch and they're using it as a vertical punch, that's a hybrid technique. Now, the reason why I bring this kind of stuff up is because I'm trying to make meaningful divisions between these different techniques so that we can see that there is a lot of variability in how to produce the flakes. And what that leads to is an understanding that just because a flake looks like it was removed, in this case by a vertical punch like this, it may have actually been detached by something that resembles a horizontal punch and used kind of like in a hybrid situation where if you didn't actually see the process, I don't think there would be any way to know how it was done. Okay? I mean, if you see a blade removed from a conical core like this, you would typically think maybe billet strike or punch. You wouldn't normally think of, well, maybe the guy was holding, or someone else was over here on the side holding something that looked like this and hitting it this way or hitting it this way. Okay? So I think it's important to realize that there's a lot of variability in techniques, and sometimes one napper can produce, you know, an extremely wide range of flakes with either a very limited number of tools or a vast array of tools. So that makes it much harder to realize or to determine how flakes are actually removed. Okay, so I'll get off of that. I'll be doing some more videos on removing blades with different techniques, but I just wanted to show this as an introduction to a hybrid type of tools and situations. And I'll do some videos on jigs too. Okay? All right, that's it.